Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. God has hidden unlimited treasures in His Word. Every time we open it, we can discover a new treasure, or admire an old one. What will we find today? Let's dig in. Here's Carla Early with Treasure Hunt in the Word.
I like to get up early before the rest of my house is awake to spend time with the Lord. But when something hurtful happens, something that I wasn't expecting hits me hard, or I do something that has unintended consequences, these times I long to step apart from the busyness of my day and spend some quiet time with the Lord, just me and Him. Sometimes I just sit and cry. Sometimes I pray on my face. Sometimes I journal my prayers. But until I can get alone with the Lord, I crave that time with Him and search for a quiet spot in my schedule. I carve that time out, even if I have to skip out of something and lock myself into a stall in a public restroom to talk to Him for a few minutes alone. Jesus had this desire to be alone with His Father too, though a public restroom stall wasn't an option for Him. He often separated Himself from the crowd and even from His disciples to pray. But one time in particular caught my attention. In Matthew 14:13, Jesus had just received news that his cousin and forerunner, John the Baptist, had been killed by Herod. He'd been teaching and healing, but when Jesus heard this news, he and his disciples got in a boat and went to a deserted place where he could be alone. Surely he needed that time to mourn for John the Baptist. But also, Jesus may have needed that time to prepare himself for what was coming for him, too. The Jewish leaders, as he probably knew, were already looking for a way to get rid of him. One way or the other, Jesus craved time with his Father. Did he get it? Not at that point. The multitudes followed him, thousands of people. Did Jesus get annoyed when he saw them coming? Did he send them away and go on with his time with the Father? No. In verse 14 it says he had compassion on them and healed their sick. He had pity on them and met their needs. A few verses later, he even fed the whole crowd. Yes, he was most likely emotionally drained. He needed a break. He longed to be alone. Yet he showed his love for these people by setting aside his me time to gently and compassionately care for them. Only when their needs were met did he send them away, all of them, including the disciples, and went up on a mountain by himself to pray, alone. Craving time alone with God is a sign of maturity for a believer, that we want to spend time with Him and turn to Him first when we face problems and trials. Do we always get that time alone when we want it? No, and that's okay. The urgent often supersedes the necessary. But God has taught me that if the urgent involves a person, we ought to be careful to treat that person with compassion instead of as a distraction. And at the next opportunity, even if it's in a stall of a public restroom, carve out time with the Lord.
You can contact us at treasurehuntintheword@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to share a treasure God has given you by doing an episode, please contact us. You can listen to other episodes on our website, which you'll find in the description below. Thanks for listening, and remember, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.